In this lab, the process of removing and inspecting the rear brake drum assembly is demonstrated. First, the rear of the car is jacked up to a suitable height and stands are placed securely under the vehicle.
Next, the wheel nuts are loose and the wheel is removed. Then, the toe bolt on the caliper are loose. The caliper and the brake drum taken off carefully. The four nuts at the back of the wheel stud are then loose and the wheel stud together with the back plate is pulled out. Next, the wheel stud is completely removed. The hold down spring is pressed and removed using a grip plier. After that, the adjuster spring is removed using a long nose plier and the brake shoe is pulled out. This is the name part of the brake system.
First of all, we divide the shoe lining into a 3 part. And then we calibrate the vernier caliper and measure the thickness of the brake shoe of the first part. This is the first reading. Second, we measure the second part. This is a second reading. We measure the third part. And this is a third reading. And then we measure the fourth part. And this is the fourth reading. This is a fifth part. And this is a fifth reading. Lastly, this is a sixth part. And this is a last reading. The second part is we divide into a 4 part for the drum brake. Then we measure the first part of brake shoe. This is the reading of first part. This is the second part of the brake shoe. And this is a second reading. And then we go to the third part of the brake shoe. And then we measure it. This is the third reading. Lastly, we measure the fourth part of the brake shoe, and this is the reading of last part.
Next, chalk was applied to the inner surface of the drum to check the contact area between the brake shoe and the lining. Then the shoe was pressed against the drum and rotated to reveal the contact mark. The same procedure was repeated for the second shoe. During the inspection, the drum brake was found to have slight wear and minor rust. Then, the return spring and adjuster spring were in good condition, while the brake shoe and lining show light rusty and surface worn, and the thickness is 4.30 mm. Lastly, the piston surface also show minor rusting.
So for the reassembly, the parts of the brake drum, we insert the leading shoe into the bed plate. Put in the brake strap bar between the leading shoe and also insert the shoe adjuster into their position. Make sure all the parts fits perfectly in their position, and also put in back the shoe guard plate into the brake strap bar. Next, insert the two return spring into their places, which is attached with the brake strap bar, and then make sure the spring is fixed perfectly attached with the brake strap bar to avoid the return spring is detached from it. Next, insert the adjuster spring beside the shoe adjuster. Make sure the two end of the adjuster spring fit into the hole of the leading shoe, which means the position of two end of the adjuster spring, and then use the proper tools to support the adjuster spring fit into the position. Use adjuster lock pliers to attach the hold down spring and hold down cap into the hold down pins and rotate it to lock it. Put back the bed plate into its position and make sure it fits properly. Tighten the screw nut back of the bed plate and make sure it tight to avoid the bed plate is detached from the position. Insert the brake drum into the bed plate. Make sure the screw nut fit perfectly into the brake drum, and then attach the caliper back into its position with the bed plate, and then insert the screw nut of the caliper, attach it with the bed plate. Make sure it tighten to avoid the caliper is detached from the bed plate. Next, insert the tire into their position and use the impact gun to tighten the screw nut of the tire.
Yay!
Although the brake shoe lining, which has a thickness of 2.18 to 2.40 mm, is still repairable, it should be changed as soon as possible to provide safety and the best possible braking system.
Now, I'm going to explain the result of our inside diameter measurement on this drum brake. We measure at 4 different points around the inner surface. We got 2 points at reading 167.8, third reading 167.87, and the last one is 166.18. From this result, 3 points are quite consistent around 167.8 mm, but 1 point show a smaller reading, which is 166.18 mm. This indicates that area is more worn and uneven compared to the rest. This uneven diameter can cause vibration, uneven braking, and poor contact between the brake shoe and the drum. So this drum may need resurfacing, or if the wear is too much, it should be replaced to maintain safe braking performance.
If deep crack found on the brake drum, it cannot be repaired because it weakens the structure and cause the drum to be under high heat and pressure during braking. Even if the crack is welded, the brake drum will not return to its original strength or shape, which can cause vibration and make braking unsafe. Therefore, the only safe solution is to replace the drum to ensure proper braking performance and safety.
The advantages of brake drum compared to the brake disc are the brake drum has a lower manufacture cost and it has a longer durability. They are cheaper because of their simple design, and it protects the internal components such as a brake shoes and spring from dust and moisture. The larger contact area of the brake drum also made it as last longer and cost less to use on a rear wheels.
The conclusion, the drum brake show uneven wear on the inner surface with one point smaller than the other. This indicates the drum is no longer perfectly round. So, resurfacing on replacement is recommended to ensure safe and stable braking. The other part like shoe, lightning and spring have minor wear and rust, but still in usable condition. However, they should be cleaned properly and monitored to avoid reduced braking performance in the future.